Alright, so we left off with number 3, so I'm going to pick up on number 3. This one asks to find the equation for the parabola that passes through the point negative 110, 0, 5, and 2, 7. So the first thing you want to do is use the equation for the general form, or the general equation for a parabola, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to plug in each of these coordinates into our x and our y. So the first one I'm going to plug in is going to be negative 110. So the 10 is going to be plugged in into our y, and the negative 1 is going to be plugged in into this x and this x. So we're going to get a times negative 1 squared plus negative 1 times b plus c. And this one's going to become 10 equals, when you square negative 1 it becomes positive 1, so then this is going to just become a minus b. Negative 1 times b is negative b, so it's going to become just negative b plus c. Alright, so the next one is going to be 0, 5. So when I plug in 0, 5, it's going to become 5 equals a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. So this I can simplify it, and it's going to become 0 squared is 0 times a is 0 plus 0 times b is 0 plus c. So for this one we can see that 5 equals c. So that's going to make it easier because we already know what c is. And the last one is, I'm going to plug in 0.27. So it's going to give me 7 equals a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. So this one's going to become 7 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. So now I have my 3 equations, which are this one, and this one. So when I write them over here, I'm going to write them over here. So it's going to be 10 equals a minus b plus c, 5 equals c, and 7 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. So a lot of you guys were asking me, well, what do I do if 5 equals c? Well, if 5 equals c, then you already know then that c equals 5, and over here c equals 5. So you can plug it into this c and plug it into this c. So when I do that, it's going to shorten the process for me. So now I can write 10 equals a minus b plus 5. So notice that I just used the first equation and plugged in 5. Then I'm going to use this equation and plug in 5. So 7 equals 4a plus 2b plus 5. So now you can do one of two things. You can work with these two equations and eliminate either the a or the b, or you can just subtract 5 from both sides of the first equation, subtract 5 from both sides of the first equation, and eliminate one of the variables. Either way is the same thing. You're just kind of taking care of the step either in the beginning or at the end. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and work with the equations the way they are right here and eliminate the b. So I'm going to be adding these two, but before I do that, I'm going to multiply this one by 2 so that the b's can eliminate. So when I do that, even the 5 gets affected by doing this, okay? So I'm going to have 20 plus 7, that's 27. 2a plus 4a, that's 6a. Negative 2b plus b, that's 0. And 10 plus 5 is 15. So now you notice that I eliminated the b, and now this 15, I'm going to subtract it from both sides, and I'm going to be able to solve for a. So 27 minus 15, that's going to be 12 equals 6a. So a equals 2. Alright, so there's my a equals 2. Now that I have a, I have c. Now I just have to plug in a and c into one of the equations that I have, and I find my b. So I'm going to use this first equation right here. So I'm going to say 10 equals a minus b plus c. So I'm going to plug in my a, which is 2. I'm going to plug in my c, which is 5. And I'm just going to solve for b. So 10 equals 7 minus b. So now I subtract 7 from both sides, so I get 3. And then divide by -1 or multiply by -1. Either way, b is going to be -3. So now that I have my b, my a, and my c, I can plug them back into my equation over here, and I can find my equation. So remember, they're saying find an equation. Okay, so your answer is going to be an equation. So a is 2, so I'm going to have 2x squared. B is -3, so it's going to be minus 3 x. And c is 5, so it's going to be plus 5. Alright, so that's your equation for number 3. So let's move on to so here it is, one more look if you guys need it. Let's move on to number 4. So number 4, you guys have exponential equations, and they want you to solve for x, and they want you to round to 3 decimal places. Notice that our exponent is a variable, so we're going to want to take the log of both sides here. So the log of 10 to the x equals the log of 16. Now we apply our power property of logs, so that lets us bring the x down to the front and multiply it times the log of 10, and this side would just be the log of 16. And finally we divide both sides by log of 10, so we can get x by itself. So it's going to be log of 16 over log of 10, and this is going to be equal to, I believe we said that it was about 2 point, oh, let me check. So we have, and I'll enter it here so you can see how we enter it into the calculator. So here's log of 16. Make sure you close the parenthesis and divide by log of 10. So 1.204. 1.204. And they are saying to round to 3 decimal places, so make sure you do that. For the next one, we want to add 8 first to both sides, and then we're going to get 10x equals 49. And now we want to follow the same process that we followed over here, so take the log of both sides, and use the power property of logs to bring the x down. So x equals log of 49 over log of 10. So notice that I skipped a step here. So first you would bring the x down and multiply it times log of 10, and then you divide both sides by log of 10, so we end up with x equals log of 49 by log of 10. So then this ends up equaling, let's go ahead and check what it is. So we have log of 49 divided by log of 10, 1.690. Okay, so we get 1.690. So that's your answer for this one. And let me make sure I did everything right. So 49. Okay. Alright, letter C. So letter C, you guys want to, same thing, similar problem. Take the log of both sides, since we have a variable as an exponent. Bring down the x using the power property of logs. And divide by log of 3 on both sides. So x equals log of 729 divided by log of 3. So this is going to end up equaling, let's see, log of 729 divided by log of 3. That's 6. So right here we don't have to round to 3 decimal places because we just have a whole number, so we can just leave it as 6. And then the last one here I'm going to do is take the log of both sides, bring down the x, multiply it, and finally x equals log of 101 divided by log of 10, which is about gonna be equal to, so log of 101 divided by log of 10, oops, that's equal to 2.004. Alright, so those are your answers right there. Alright, I will continue with 5 and the rest of the problems on the next video.